Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. A wildfire in North Idaho forced all the residents of the town of Athol to evacuate just hours ago. The report came in just after 3 this afternoon, and within minutes it was clear homes and businesses were being threatened. Now most evacuations have been dropped and residents are returning home. This square highlighted on the screen right now is still under level 1 evacuation orders. That means be ready, but only out of an abundance of caution, according to fire officials. We have team coverage tonight to bring you all the latest details. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy McGew is standing by with the latest fire forecast. But first, we'll go to KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk in Athol tonight.
Just before 7 tonight, roads reopened and people were allowed to go back home as those evacuations were lowered to a level 1 or get ready. The Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Chief says aircraft played a huge role in containing this fire, which threatened hundreds of homes. Just before 3 this afternoon, the entire town of Athol was told to evacuate.
We have an active evacuation group who are evacuating people and homes as we speak.
Sheriff's deputies shut down roads and several highways as winds pushed the Sarah Loop fire north.
And obviously we've got people that, like I said earlier, are in the evacuation zone who are trying to get home, get pets, get children, get people, and get back out.
Firefighting planes and helicopters swarm the area, protecting homes and property.
That's probably honestly what was able to save this so quickly, is that we were able to pull all the air resources that were already in the air and flying over at Ridge Creek.
In the triple-digit heat, many people found shelter at Real Life Ministries Church.
Whenever there's a need, people rise up. That's just, North Idaho's great.
Jim Blazin is the pastor here. His congregation had a full taco bar ready to feed hundreds of people.
A lot of people that we know that have been displaced, animals, dogs, cats, and so we're just open the doors and we're prepared to serve people.
The Sarah Loop fire burned approximately 60 acres. While no injuries have been reported, at least one structure was lost.
One outbuilding or shop, don't know exactly how to describe it, lost, but there weren't any houses. And I want to credit the firefighters for doing a great job on that. I mean, we had 520 some houses in the direct path of this fire. So to think, or 525 structures. So to think that, the possibilities, we only lost one small shop, that's pretty incredible.
And tonight, officials are not sure what caused this fire. That will be the focus of an investigation in the days to come. Reporting in Athol tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Now to another fire burning in North Idaho tonight. The Ridge Creek fire near Hayden Lake has grown to more than 2,700 acres. It's just 15% contained right now. Level 1 evacuations do remain in place for the area of Bunko Road and Hayden Lake. More than 300 personnel are on scene, including a night crew who is monitoring conditions overnight as the weather changes. On that note, fire danger extremely high right now, and today's record heat certainly did not help. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy McGew. Jeremy, you're tracking the potential for some wind in the coming days too.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where we went from high fire danger today to likely what will be critical fire danger in the days to come. Right now, 86 degrees. Now, there is a bit of a saving grace here as we head through the next, say, 12 hours. Our night is much longer, so by tomorrow morning, our temperatures wind up quite a bit cooler. Let's skip and go to this. We already know we're under those heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. Tomorrow morning, we do wake up to temperatures in the 60s, even if barely, so there is a little reprieve. If you want to get outside, you want to walk the dog, do anything like that, early in the morning is the name of the game. It just gets too dangerous to do so, even when it comes to yourself a little bit later on in the day. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back up in the triple digits across much of the inland Northwest. Triple digits again on Thursday. But what happens thereafter is what is going to give me a little pause. Tomorrow, 101, Thursday, 100, and then the wind kicks up Thursday night. It's cooler Friday, but we're talking critical fire danger across much of the region.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. The city of Spokane has announced cooling spaces available for anyone who needs them during this heat wave. Locations include the 6 public library branches. They are the Central Library, Shado Park, Liberty Park, Hilliard, South Hill Library, and Indian Trail. All locations will be open from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. until Thursday. Meantime, Spokane Parks and Rec splash pads also available to the public for free. The splash pads are open every day from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. at 19 city parks. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. 2 Washington breweries are challenging Idaho's rule banning out-of-state breweries from self-distributing their products. Right now, small out-of-state beer producers must go through a wholesaler to sell to bars, restaurants, and other businesses. Idaho's small brewers are allowed to self-distribute for free. Brewers say working through a distributor is often more expensive and challenging for a small business. So Washington just wants the same treatment as Idaho's brewers.
So they're treating their in-state breweries more favorably and, in a sense, discriminating economically against out-of-state breweries. And courts have found that is a violation of the Commerce Clause.
He's talking about a similar lawsuit Washington brewers filed against Oregon last year. Oregon actually settled in that case and drafted a law allowing out-of-state breweries to self-distribute. That law takes effect next month. Well, if you notice more patrols around Medical Lake, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office says it's because they caught a teenager vandalizing local signs. Deputies say they caught the teen writing on signs with spray paint and that he ignored deputies and kept going when confronted. After a struggle, he was taken into custody. He was booked into the Spokane County Juvenile Detention Center for malicious mischief. Meantime, 2 suspects are in custody tonight, accused of causing a crash on 195 last month and then driving away. According to the Washington State Police, 2 cars were driving on westbound I-90 when one tried to pass the other car. The car that did the passing cut across 2 lanes and cut off that other car, and that's when the other car struck a guardrail and flipped over. The other car kept on going but eventually hit a bridge. The other passengers were taken to the hospital. Only one driver is facing charges tonight. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them straight to your phone. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris was in Washington this morning. Harris was welcomed by Governor Jay Inslee this morning in Seattle. She was there to mark the anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act that was signed into law. Today, she explained why it's needed.
We are seeing it in real time. Here, of course, in Washington state, you have endured deadly heat waves and devastating wildfires. And across our nation, we see communities choked by drought, washed out by flood.
Well, the act commits nearly $1 trillion to build a clean energy economy. They plan to do this by dramatically expanding solar and wind energy production, creating lower energy costs for working families, and putting millions of electric vehicles on the road. As the vice president was visiting, one Bellevue motorcycle officer assigned to her detail suffered a serious fall off a Seattle on-ramp. The state patrol says he fell some 50 to 60 feet off the Michigan Street ramp and onto southbound I-5. Fortunately, he was awake and alert when taken to the hospital. The State Patrol is investigating how exactly that happened. And country legend Dolly Parton and her Imagination Library visited Western Washington today. Drew Mickelson with our Seattle sister station spoke exclusively with Parton, who played the Tacoma Dome, has a family in Wenatchee who sends her apples every Christmas, and the icon from the Smoky Mountains was pretty impressed with the Cascades.
I told people we got to talk to you. They couldn't believe it. Everybody loves Dolly Parton. What is your secret sauce?
Well, I think I'm older than everybody else. Actually, I've been at this so long, and I think people love that that hope that we do live in America, and that even a poor little girl from the Smoky Mountains can make it. That dreams do come true, and that we live in, as crazy as we get sometimes in America, it's still the greatest place to live, and we still can become anything that, you know, that we can dream of if we're willing to put the work into it. But I do think that people just accept me because I accept them.
Her Imagination Library, which has sent more than 200 million free books to children all around the globe, is now available in Washington state. For her full interview, just head to our website, KREM.com. And the wildly popular Hello Kitty Cafe truck is returning to River Park Square this weekend for the first time since last year. The truck will be in Spokane for just one day. That's Saturday, August 19th. You might remember it from last year. The line to get the macarons and merchandise was all around the block. This year, you can find a brand new Hello Kitty hoodie to add to your collection. If you're hoping to catch it, the truck will be at the South Mall entrance from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m.